Hi students, so this is Raza. So welcome to my channel. So in this video we are going to discuss Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya Arithmetic Test Solved Paper 2020. Right, so this Jawahar Navodaya exam will be conducted for the 5th class completed students to get into 6th class. Right, so in this video we are going to discuss a solved paper of 2020. Right, so likewise we are going to continue the remaining year papers, solved papers in this series of videos. Okay, so if you are new to this channel, so please subscribe the channel and watch the video till the end. So we are going to discuss all the 20 questions related to this paper. Okay, so let us begin the video. So question number 1. So what is the difference between the greatest 7-digit number and the smallest 4-digit number? So what is meant by greatest? So if you ever asked about greatest 7-digit number, so greatest means, so it is nothing but the number which contains all nines. So we will be taking the greatest 7-digit number. So we will be taking 7 nines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this is my greatest 7-digit number. Next, moving on to the smallest 4-digit number. So if you are asked to write the smallest 4-digit number, so smallest 4-digit number is nothing but 1 followed by 1 less number of zeros. Since he is asking 4-digit number, so we will be writing 1 followed by 3 zeros. So this is nothing but my smallest 4-digit number. Okay, now what is he asking? So what is the difference between? So what is meant by difference? So difference is nothing but subtraction. So we need to do subtraction here. So 9 minus 0 is 9. Again 9 minus 0 is 9. 9 minus 0 is 9. So 9 minus 1 is 8. Next, followed by 9, 9 and 9. So what is the answer? 3 nines, 1 8 and again 3 nines. Then what is the answer? Answer is nothing but option D. So what is the answer? Answer is option D. Right. So it is 999, 8, 999. Okay. So from this what we have understood? So if you want greatest 7-digit number, simply write 7 nines. Next, if you want the smallest 4-digit number, so smallest 4-digit number means the first digit you write it as 1 followed by 1 less number of zeros. So here 4-digit number he asked, so we will be taking 3 zeros. So likewise we can find the answer. Right. Next, moving on to the second question. So what will be the difference between the greatest 6-digit number and the greatest 5-digit number? So he is asking both the things greatest. So greatest means, so what is the greatest 6-digit number? It is nothing but 6 nines. So 999, 999. Next, greatest 5-digit number means, so we will be writing 5 nines below this. So 5 nines below this. Then what is the difference between them? So difference means, again what we should do? We need to take subtraction. So from this 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 9 is 0. Here also will get 0. Here also 0. Here also 0. Here we are going to get 9. So what is the answer? Again the answer is 9 followed by 5 zeros. So where is the option? So it is option D again. So for this question also the answer is option D. Right. Next, moving on to one more question. Question number 43. So which of the following is not equal to 25? So he is asking, so which among these options is not equal to 25? So for that what we should do? So we need to consider each and every option. Okay. So in the first option, so whenever you do simplifications, so what is the rule that we should follow? So we should follow BODMAS rule. So some will call it as BODMAS rule, some will call it as PODMAS rule. So here BODMAS means, so this is brackets. So whatever the values in the brackets that we need to solve first. Next, of Next, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So this is nothing but my order, right? So instead of brackets we'll call it as parenthesis. So that's why instead of B we are using P. Okay. So what is the order? So first we need to solve the things which are in the bracket. After that off. Next we'll do division. Next we'll do multiplication things. Next we'll do addition. Next finally the subtraction. Right. Now taking the first option A. So in option A, what do you have? So you are having a bracket, right? So first we need to solve that bracket. So what is the bracket value? So 100 divided by 4. So what is the value of 100 divided by 4? So when you divide 100 with 4, so what you are going to get? So 4 2s are 8. Next, so 2 will be there. Next 0 will carry. So 4 5s are 20. So clearly, what is the value of 100 divided by 4? 100 divided by 4 is 25. Now when I substitute this value, option A becomes 50 minus 25, which is equal to 25. Now what is asking is not equal to. That means this is correct. Next, moving on to option B. So what is option B here? So 20 plus 20 divided by 4. So what is the value of, so since it is in the bracket, first we need to solve this. 20 divided by 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. Already we know 4 tables. So 4 5s are 20. So it cancels 5 times. So 20 plus 5 is 25. Next, moving on to option C. So this is also 25. Then this is also correct. Next, option C. So 10 plus. So here since we are having bracket, so 5 into 2. So we need to solve that. We are getting 10 plus here also we are having one more bracket. So 10 minus 5 is 5. So when you add all these, 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 plus 5 is 25. So this is also correct. So clearly from options here we can say that option D is my wrong one. So its value is not equal to 25 because, so this gives me option D, 24 plus 2 into 1. No? So 2 into 1 is 2. So 24 plus 2 is giving me 26. Hence this is not equal to 25. Hence option D is my answer. Right. Next, moving on to question number 44. The value of x which makes the following statement true is. So is asking you what is the value of x should be so that this value is equal to 4 by 3. Now let us see this. So whenever you are having mixed fraction, what we should do? So first of all we need to convert that mixed fraction into improper fraction. Okay. So what is given? So 3 7 by 11. So how can I write this 3 7 by 11 as? So 11 into 3 plus 7 whole divided by 11. Now this I can write as 11 3s are 33. So 33 plus 7 by 11. So 33 plus 7 is 40. So 40 divided by 11. So this mixed fraction value is 40 by 11. Now writing down the value. So 40 by 11 into 11 by 5 divided by 3 by 7. So this is 3 by 7 into x. If there is nothing in the denominator, take it as 1 is equal to 4 by 3. Now here 11 is in the numerator and 11 is in the denominator, so we can cancel them one time. Again this 5 in 40, so we can cancel it one time, and 5 8s are 40, so this becomes 8 by 1. So what is the value? 8 by 1 divided by 3x by 7 is equal to 4 by 3. Now how can you write this as? So whenever you are having division, I can write as 8 by 1 into, so this division I can make it as multiplication by reciprocating this value. Reciprocating means writing it upside down. So numerator becomes denominator and denominator becomes numerator. So 7 by 3x is equal to 4 by 3. Now when I do multiplication, 8 7s are, it is, so 7 8s are, it is 56. So 56 divided by 3x is equal to 4 by 3. Now since I need the value of x, so what we can do here, we can cross multiply this. Then what I am going to have, 56 into 3 is equal to 4 into 3x. So on both sides I can cancel 3, so it goes one time. Next this 4 in 56, so 4 ones are 4. Next 4 fours are 16. So clearly what I got x value as, so x value is nothing but 14. So answer is 14, option B. Right. Next, moving on to question number 45. The sum of HCF and LCM. So first of all, we need to find out HCF and LCM. So how to find out the HCF and LCM? So first we will find out HCF. So what are the given numbers? 45, 60 and 75. So first of all we are going to find out HCF. Okay. So take the two biggest numbers and go with the division. So 60, we need to divide 75 with the 60. So it goes 60 ones are 60. So 60. Then this gives me 15. Right. Now again this divisor we need to write here. Okay. So you need to understand this procedure. So 60 ones are 60. So whatever the remainder that you get, that remainder will become divisor for the next step, and the divisor in the previous step will become dividend. Okay. So 15 into 4. So 15 fours are 60. Hence the remainder is 0 here. So from this what we can say, here 15 is the divisor. Next, with this 15 I need to divide the remainder number. So what is the third number? It is 45. So from this 15 3s are 15 3s are 45. So clearly what I got, so in both the situations, so 15 gives me the remainder as 0. So from this what I can say, HCF is 15. So we got HCF. Next we need to find out LCM. So to find out LCM, what I should do, so I need to make use of this particular method. So what is that? 45, 60, 75. You need to write down the numbers separated by commas. Next, if you observe, units places are zeros and fives. So directly what I can say, it is divisible by 5. So we need to write down the values by which prime number it is being divisible, right? So 5 9s are 45. Next 5 12s are 60. Next in 5 table, so 5 ones are 5. Next 25 is remained, so 15 times. Next again if you observe 9 12 15, so these all goes in 3 table. So 3 3s are 9. Next 3 4s are 12. Next 3 5s are 15. Now again if you observe, so 3 and 5 are prime numbers. So 4 I can take it in 2 table. So what I am going to get, so 3 is 3. Next 2 2s are 4. Next it won't go, so let it be 5. Now since all the numbers you can see as prime numbers, so directly LCM is nothing but the product of those numbers. So what is the product? So 5 into 3 into 2 into 3 into 2 into 5. Now if you observe, 5 2s are 10. Here also 5 2s are 10. Alright. So here 3 into 3 is 9. So 9 into 10 into 10. So 9 tens are 90. 90 tens are 900. So the LCM of this particular value is 900. Now finally what did he ask? Sum of HCF and LCM. So sum of HCF and LCM is nothing but HCF plus LCM. So what is HCF we got? It is 15 plus LCM is 900. So 900 plus 15 is 915. So where is the option? It is option C. Right. So likewise we can find out HCF and LCM, and finally whatever the value, so whatever the question that he asked, we are answering that, right? Next 46th question. Now what he has given, so 3 by 8 divided by 5 by 3 minus 1 by 6 plus 5 by 8. So already we know BODMAS rule. So what is BODMAS rule? First of all, we need to solve the things which are present in the brackets. So first of all, we are considering that particular thing. So 5 by 3 minus 1 by 6. But if you observe, these two fractions are unlike fractions. So unlike fractions means the denominators are different. So directly we cannot apply the operation. So for that, what we are going to do is, so we need to take out the LCM of the denominators. So what are the denominators here? 3 and 6. So find out the LCM of 3 and 6. So these two goes in 3 tables. So 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. Now we are having prime numbers. So LCM is nothing but, so 3 into 2. So 3 twos are 6. Hence the LCM is 6. So I am getting the LCM as 6. So 6 is my LCM. Now we need to write down the fractions. So how will you write? So here 3 is present, right? So this 3 in 3 table. So you need to count 3 table here. So this 3 table, when will you get 6? So how many times you will get 6? So you will get 2 times. So that 2 into whatever the thing that is present in the numerator, write down that. Okay. So 2 into 5 minus, so whatever the symbol that is there, the same symbol you write here. Next 6 in 6 table, when you will get 6? 1 time. So that 1 into, so what is the numerator value? 1. Understood? So 2 5s are 10 minus 1 1s are 1 divided by 6. So what is the value of 10 minus 1? It is nothing but 9. 9 divided by 6. So this gives me, this goes 3 times and this goes 2 times. So this bracket value is 3 by 2. Now after that, so what is the BODMAS rule? So write down, then you can easily understand. So first a bracket is there. So we have solved the bracket. What is the value we got? 3 by 2. And after that, what do we have? Next here, if you observe this symbol, it is divided by. Next comes divided by, and finally comes addition. So first we will be doing division. So what are the values? So 3 by 8 divided by 3 by 2. So 3 by 8 divided by 3 by 2. So how can you do this? So 3 by 8 divided by means into. So when divided by becomes into, then these two will turn numerator as denominator and denominator as numerator. So clearly in the numerator we have 3, in the denominator also we are having 3. So whenever you are having multiplication, directly we can cancel the things in the numerator and denominator. The same way here also, 2 1s are 2, 2 4s are 8. So from this, what I am going to get? 1 by 4. Now I got the value till here. Now finally what do I need? I need the value of 1 by 4 plus 5 by 8. So again, instead of doing LCM, so simply what I can say here, the denominator contains 8. So if I want to make this as 8, so I can multiply with 2 and divide with 2. Then I can write as 2 by 8 plus 5 by 8. So either you can do LCM, or you can directly, what we can say, here we are having 4, I can make this 4 as 8 by multiplying with 2. If in the denominator if you multiply, in the numerator also you need to multiply. If you observe, both the denominators are same, so directly we can add him. So what I am going to get? 2 plus 5. So 2 plus 5 is 7. So 7 divided by 8. So answer is 7 divided by 8. So where is 7 divided by 8? It is option C. Right. Next, moving on to the next question. So 15 minus 15 divided by 15 into 6 is equal to x. Then the value of x is. So here calculation is needed. So that's why what we need to do? We need to follow BODMAS rule. So what is BODMAS rule? First we need to take brackets. So here we don't have any brackets. Next, off. So there is no chance of off. Next, division. So division is possible now first. So we need to take the division of these two. Okay, so what is that? So minus 15 divided by plus 15. So minus 15 divided by plus 15 is minus 1. so it goes minus 1 times. So this value becomes minus 1. How can I write this as 15 minus 1 into 6 is equal to x. So division completed. Next multiplication. Next is multiplication. See multiplication. So we are having multiplication here. So minus 1 into 6. So already 15 is there. Minus 1 into 6 is minus 6 is equal to x. So what is the value of 15 minus 6? 15 minus 6 is equal to 9, which is equal to my x value. So answer is option C, right? So answer is option C. So likewise, using the BODMAS rule, we can solve it. Next, moving on to the next question. So what he has given? So 0.9 divided by 0.3 into 0.3. So how will you solve this? Right? So 0.9. So how can I write 0.9 as? So I can write 0.9 as 9 by 10. Here this decimal form I am going to convert it into fraction form. The same way I can write 0.3 as 3 by 10. Okay. So 0.9 I can write as 9 by 10. 0.3 I can change it as 3 by 10. Now this 0.9 I can write it as 9 by 10 divided by 0.3 I can write it as 3 by 10 into 3 by 10. So this is present inside the bracket. Now how can I write this as 9 by 10? So this is equal to 9 by 10 divided by 3 3s are 9 divided by 100. So already we know 9 by 10 divided by 900, I can write it as 9 by 10 into, so this 9 by 100 becomes 100 by 9. So clearly 9 gets cancelled. Next 100 by 10. So this 10 in 10 table I can cancel it 10 times and 1 time. So clearly what I am going to get? 10 by 1. So 10 by 1 is equal to 10. So the answer is option D. See how simple it is. So by converting the given decimal into fraction form, we can make it easy, right? Next, moving on to question number 49. If the number B is 10% less than another number C and C is 5% more than 150, B is equal to, okay, the question is B is 10% less than C. C is 5% more than 150. Then what is the value of B? Now for this, what I am going to do is C is 5% more than 150. That means how can I write C as? C is equal to 5% more than 150. So 5% more than 150 means, so 150 plus, so here more means plus, so 150 plus 5% of 150. So C is equal to 150 plus 5% of 150, because here he is saying 5% more than. So I can write C is equal to 150 plus 5% of 150, which gives me 150 plus 5%. So 5% I can write it as 5 by 100 into 150. So this I can write as 150 by 1. So here if you observe 0 0 I can cancel it out. Next in 5 table I can cancel it 2 times. In 5 table I can cancel it 3 times. Now from this what I am going to get? 150 plus 5 3s are. So it gives me 15 by 2. I can write as 150 plus 15 by 2 I can write it as 7.5. So 150 plus 7.5 is 157.5. So the value of C is 157.5. But what did he ask? So he asked about the value of B. Value of B. And he has given that B is equal to 10% less than C. So 10% less than C means, so how can I write? C minus 10% of C. So how can I write? So B is equal to C minus 10% of C. So what is C here? So C is 157.5 minus 10%. So 10% I can write as 10 by 100 into of C means, so what is the value of C? 157.5. So this 10 in 100 it cancels 10 times. So what I am going to get? 157.5 minus 157.5 by 10. So this 157.5 by 10. So whenever you are having 10 in the denominator, so one decimal place value will shift to the left. Then I can write as 157.5 minus 15.75. Now here we will be learning the decimal subtraction. So how will you do subtraction? So 157.5. So this decimal point should coincide here. So if I take the decimal point here, then I can write 75 here. Next here it is 15. So whenever you don't have anything, that means it has 0. Next we need to do subtraction. So since here we can't cancel those, in the place of 0 I can take 10. Then this becomes 4. Right? So 10 minus 5 is 5. Next here from 4 I cannot subtract 7. So from that what I can do? So I can take a borrow of 1 from this, then this 7 becomes 6 and this 4 becomes 14. So 14 minus 7 is 7. 6 minus 5 is 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. 1. So answer is 141.75. So this becomes 141.75. So the value of B is 141.75. So in this problem we have discussed about percentages, right? Next moving on to one more question, question number 50. Now what he said, 5%. So 5%. So 5% means 5 by 100. Of means nothing but into. Of means into 10%. Again 10% I can write it as 10 by 100. Of. So of means again you can take it as into 175 grams. So 175 by 1. Now here what I can do? I can cancel out 1 0 and 1 0. And don't cancel the remaining things. So let them be as it is. Now multiply 175 with 5. So 175 5s are. So I know 5 5s are 25. So 2 is carried. So 7 5s are 35. 35 plus 2 37. So I am having 3 as a carry. Next 5 1s are 5 plus 3 8. So the numerator is nothing but 875 divided by, so 10 into 100 is 1 followed by 3 zeros. Now 875 divided by 1000. See, whenever you want to write this particular thing as a decimal form, just see how many zeros are there. So in the denominator we are having 3 zeros, 1 followed by 3 zeros. So that means in the numerator, after the decimal value you should have 3 decimal places. And already in the numerator we are having 3 numbers, right? So those 3 numbers we can take them as, directly we can take them as the 3 decimal places. Okay. So the answer is 0.875 grams. So answer is option C. Next moving on to question number 51. So find the approximate value of the following expression in whole numbers. So what is the given number? 49.6 into 10.2 minus 7.1 into 29.7 minus 5.1 into 20.1. Now if you observe, all the values are whole numbers, right? Then this 49.6 I can nearly take it as 50, right? Because it is crossing 49.5. And this 10.2 I can take it as 10 because I am rounding up the numbers. Then this is nothing but 7 and this is 30 minus 5.1 I can write as 5 into 20.1 I can write as 20. So 50 tens are So I can write as 500 minus 7 3s 21 followed by a 0 minus 5 20s. It is nothing but 100. So 500 minus 100 is 400 minus 210. So 400 minus 210 is nothing but 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 we can't cancel, so we are taking a borrow. 10 minus 1 is 9. Then here we will have 3. So 3 minus 2. So what do we have? 3 minus 2 is 1. Hence its value is nothing but 190. Since he is asking without decimal values, that is nothing but approximate value. Hence we have rounded the numbers. Okay. Like this type of questions also will be asked. Next, moving on to the next question. A park is 1500 meters long and 750 meters wide. So what he has given? So a park is 150 meters long, 1500 meters long and 750 meters wide. A cyclist has to take 4 rounds of this park. So there is a park which is in the shape of a rectangle. So in rectangle, what do we know? We know all sides are opposite sides are equal. So if this is 1500, this is also 1500. If this is 750, this is also 750. Now how much time will it take at a speed of 4.5 kilometers per hour? Now first of all, we need to find out the distance traveled for 4 rounds. So for one round, distance covered is equal to what we can say? Simply add up all the sides. So here, if it starts from here, so this distance 1500, next 750, next again 1500, and next 750. So from this 1500 plus 750 plus 1500 plus 750. So these distances we need to add them, right? Then what I am going to have? So 1500 plus 1500 plus 750 plus 750. When you add them all, 0. So 5 plus 5 is 10. So 1 is carried. So 5 plus 5 10, 10 plus 1 11, 11 plus 7 18, 18 plus 7 25. So 2 will be carried. So 2 plus 1 3 plus 1 4. So for one round, how much distance he has to cover? He has to cover 4,500 meters. But how many rounds he has given? That means for 4 rounds. So for 4 rounds, distance is equal to 4,500. So here 4 rounds means you need to do multiplication. So into 4. So 4 zeros are 0. Again 4 zeros are 0. 4 5s are 20. So 2 is carried. So 4 4s are 16 plus 2 18. So what is the distance he has to travel? 18,000 meters. 18,000 meters, right? But here the speed is calculated in kilometers per hour. That means we need to convert this 18,000 meters into kilometers. So already I know 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. Okay. Now from this, here this is nothing but 18 into 1000 meters. So instead of 1000 meters, I can write 1 kilometer. So this becomes 18 kilometers. So we got the distance. Next, finally, we need to find out the speed. So already we know. So he has given to find out the time. And we know speed is equal to. So what is the formula? Speed is equal to distance by time. Now since I need a time, so I am going to exchange these places. From this, what I am going to get? Time is equal to distance by speed. Time is equal to distance by speed. So substituting the values, distance is 18 kilometers by speed. What is the speed given? It is given as 4.5. So from this, 18 by 4.5. So this I can write it as 18 by 4.5, I can write as 9 by 2. I can write as 9 by 2. Half of 9 is 4.5 only, no. From this I can write as 18 by 1 into this denominator 9 by 2. I can write it as 2 by 9 when I am doing multiplication. Okay. So 9 in 18, it goes 2 times, it goes 1 time. When I multiply in the numerators, numerator will be multiplied and denominator will be multiplied. Then from this I am going to have 4 hours. So the answer is 4 hours. Next, moving on to one more question. So 1/4 of birds of a flock are at a river bank and 1/5 of that flock are in their nest. Remaining 22 birds are wandering in the search of food. What is the number of birds which are in their nest? Okay, now to solve this problem we need to consider the total number of birds as some x. Okay, since we don't know, so total number of birds, so let the total number of birds is equal to some x, and what he has given, 1/5 of the birds, sorry 1/4 of the birds. So 1/4 of the birds means, so 1 by 4 into x. So 1/4 of the birds are at the river bank, and next 1/5 of the birds, that means 1 by 5 into x, are in their nest. So 1/5 of there are in the nest, and next what he has given, remaining 22 birds, and there are 22 more birds which are wandering in the search of food. Now if you add all these values, then that will be equal to total number of birds only, no? So from this what have you understood? So 1 by 4 times of x plus 1 by 5 times of x plus 22 is equal to the total number of birds. Okay, now from this what I can write, x by 4 plus x by 5 plus 22 is equal to x. Now since on the left hand side we are having two x's, so we are having x terms on the left hand side and one x term on the right hand side. So what we are going to do is, we need to bring out all those x terms to one side. So for that what I am going to do, I am keeping 22 as it is on the left hand side, and this x by 4 and x by 5 I am transposing to the right hand side. Then I can write it as, so this becomes x by 1 which is on the right hand side. So this plus x by 4, so if there is nothing, that means there is plus. So when I transpose this plus x by 4, it becomes minus x by 4, and the same way plus x by 5, when I transpose, it becomes minus x by 5. Now since if you observe, the denominators are different, that means they are unlike fractions. So if they are unlike fractions, to add or subtract, we should make their denominators as same. So for that we need to do LCM. So 1, 4, 5. So 1, 4, 5. So here 1, 4, 5. Here 4 and 5 are co-primes. So co-primes means, so one is even number and one is odd number. So if such case is there, then the product of the numbers is nothing but my LCM. So 4 into 5 is nothing but my LCM. So what is the LCM here? It is 20. So don't think much. Okay, simply consider their product as LCM. Now in one table, when will you get 20? In one table you get 20 times. So this becomes 20 into x minus, in 4 table when will you get 20? So you will get 5 times. So 5 into whatever the thing that is present in the numerator, write it, minus, in 5 table when will you get 20? 4 times. So 4 into x. Now when you simplify this, 22 is equal to 20 into x is nothing but 20x, minus 5 into x is nothing but 5x, minus 4x divided by 20. Now on simplification, what I am going to get, 22 is equal to 20 minus 5 is 15, 15 minus 5 is 11, so 11x by 20. Now since I need x value, so this 11 by 20 is in multiplication form, so 11 by 20 into x. Now since I need x value, then what I should do, this 11 by 20 I need to transpose. Already on the left hand side I have 22, If there is nothing in the denominator, 1 is present there. When you transpose 11 by 20, it gets inverted. That means 11 by 20 becomes 20 by 11. Now in 11 table this goes 1 time, in 11 table this goes 2 times. From this, what is the value of x? X is 220 is 40 by 1, which is nothing but 40. So total birds are 40. So there are totally 40 birds. But what is he asking? What is the number of birds which are in their nest? Which are in their nest. In the options 40 is given. So don't get confused. Read the question carefully. So what is the number of birds which are in their nest? So here in the question, 1/5 of the birds are in their nest he has given. That means we need to find out the birds which are present inside the nest. So inside the nest, how many birds are there? X by 5 birds are there. So here x is 40 divided by 5, which is equal to 8 birds. Understood? So the answer is 8, not 40. If he ask about at the river bank, then what would you have done? We have done 40 by 4, which is nothing but 10. So all the answers are given in the options, but you need to be careful and choose the answer. Okay. Next, moving on to question number 54. Amit bought a table for 1200 rupees and spent 200 on its repair. He sold it for rupees 1680. His profit or loss percentage is. So first of all, what is the cost price? So cost price is equal to 1200 rupees. Okay. So next, what he has done? So he has done repairs, no? So these repairs are nothing but 200 rupees. So these 200 rupees will be added to cost price only. Okay. So whenever you are spending amount for repairs, that means that will be added to the cost price only. So clearly, what is the cost price finally? Cost price is 1400 and he sold it for. So sold it for means selling price, and the selling price is 1680. Now he has, so clearly you can observe cost price is less than selling price. So clearly selling price is greater than cost price. That means what he would get? So he would get a gain. Okay. Now what is gain or profit? So the other name for gain is profit. So gain is nothing but selling price minus cost price. So what is selling price here? 1680 minus cost price is 1400. So when you subtract, what you are going to get? 280 rupees. Okay, so we got gain. What is he asking? Profit percent or loss percent? So what is the formula of profit percent? So profit percentage is equal to profit by CP. So by cost price into 100. So this is the formula that you need to remember, right? So profit is always calculated on cost price. The same way loss is also, so loss percentage is also calculated on cost price only, right? Now write down the profit. So what is the profit that we got? 280 divided by what is the cost price? So cost price is 1400 into 100 by 1. Now if you observe, I can cancel out these two zeros with these two zeros. Next, finally what I am remained with? 280 by 14. Now in 14 table, 14 twos are 28. So this goes 20 times. So the profit is 20%. Hence the answer is option D. So you need to remember these formulae. Next, moving on to question number 55. A square and a rectangle have the same perimeter. So square and a rectangle have the same perimeter. If the side of a square is 16 meters and the length of the rectangle is 18 meters, then the breadth of the rectangle is. Okay. Now moving on to perimeter of square. So what is perimeter of square formula? So perimeter of square is nothing but 4 into the side length of square, right? So perimeter of square is equal to 4 into side. Next, what about perimeter of rectangle? So perimeter of rectangle is equal to 2 times of length plus breadth, right? So perimeter of rectangle is equal to 2 times of length plus breadth. Now what he has given, perimeter of square is equal to perimeter of rectangle, right? That means 4 into this side is equal to 2 times of length plus breadth. 2 times of length plus breadth. Now substituting the values, if the side of a square is 16 meters, so side of square is given as 16, so this becomes 4 into 16 is equal to 2 into length of rectangle is 18 meters, so length of rectangle is 18 meters plus see, breadth we don't know, so we are writing breadth as it is. Now simplification, 4 into 16, 16 4s are 64 is equal to this 2 I need to multiply with these 2. So 2 into 18, 36 plus 2 into this is nothing but breadth. Now here we are having plus symbol, that means here also we are having plus. When I shift this 36 to the left hand side, it becomes 64 minus 36 is equal to 2 times of breadth. Then from this 14 minus 6 is 8. Next here 5 will be remained, 5 minus 3 is 2 is equal to 2 times of breadth. Now I need to find out the value of breadth. So this is nothing but 2 into breadth. From this I can write breadth as breadth is equal to 28 is as it is. This into 2 I can write it as divided by 2. So 28 by 2 is nothing but 14 meters. Hence the answer is 14 meters. Next moving on to question number 56. So how many bricks will be required for a wall 8 meters long, 6 meters high and 22.5 centimeters thick? If each brick measures 25 centimeters into 11.25 centimeters into 6 centimeters. Okay. Now what he has given? He has constructed a wall with the help of bricks. Okay. So he has used bricks and he has constructed a wall. Okay. So like this he has constructed a wall and it continued. Now the size of brick is given. So brick will be in the shape of a cuboid, right? So the size of a brick is given in centimeters, whereas the wall is given in meters as well as centimeters. So when you are having different units, we cannot multiply. So that's why what we should do is we need to change them into same units. Okay. Now what is he asking? How many bricks will be required for a wall? How many bricks are required? So how many bricks are required means what we can do? So here we need to remember this formula. So bricks required is equal to volume of wall. That means, so if you want bricks required, then you need to take volume of the bigger thing. So what is the bigger thing here? Wall by volume of the smaller thing. So volume of each brick. So volume of each brick. Okay. So here bricks required is equal to volume of wall by volume of each brick. So always you need to consider the biggest one first and the smallest one. With the smallest one we need to divide. Now since wall is in the shape of a cuboid and brick is also in the shape of a cuboid, now we need to learn the volume of cuboid first. So volume of cuboid is equal to length into breadth into height. Okay, so length into breadth into height. So we need to make use of this formula. So first of all we need to go with the volume of wall. Here we are having centimeters, so brick we are having the units as centimeters, so that's why we need to change these meters as centimeters. Okay, now 1 meter is equal to how much? 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Now 8 meters I can write it as 8 into 100 into, next 6 meters I can write as 6 into 100 into this 22.5 divided by volume of each brick. So volume of each brick means we need to consider these values. So this I can write as 25 into 11.25 into 6. Now if you observe 11.25, if you double it, then it is equal to 22.5. That means this goes 2 times. Next, 6 in 6 goes 1 time. Next, 25 fours are 100. So 25 fours are 100. Okay, now what I am left with? I am having 8 into 4 into 100 into 2 divided by 1. Now 8 2s are 16, 16 4s are 64. So 64 into 100, this gives me 6400. So these are the number of bricks that are required to construct that wall. Okay, next moving on to question number 57. We reached our destination at 2:45 p.m. after traveling for 4.5 hours. When did we start? Okay, the question is, after traveling 4.5 hours, we reached at 2:45 p.m. Okay, then when did we start? So he's asking the starting time. So how to find the starting time? If you subtract this 4.5 hours from this 2:45, then we can get. Okay, now observe 2:45 p.m. So 2:45 p.m. in railway time, I can write it as 14:45 p.m. So in railway time there is no AM PM. So simply what I am doing, I am going to convert this 2:45 as 14:45. That means adding 12 to that. So I got 14:45. That is the designated time. Now from this 14:45, what I should do is, to find out the initial time or the starting time, we need to subtract this 4.5 hours. So 4.5 hours means, so 4.5, half hour means here 30 minutes only. Okay, so we need to subtract that 30. So from this 5 minus 0 is 5, 4 minus 3 is 1. So 14 minus 4, it is 10. Okay, so 10:15 means, so we have came back in the morning session. So this becomes 10:15 a.m. So the answer is 10:15 a.m. Okay, so whenever such type of questions are asked, simply change it into railway time. Okay, next 58th question, the prime factorization of 640. So prime factorization is nothing but doing the division process. So 640 we need to divide with the prime number. So first prime number, since we are having 0 in the units place, so 2 times. So in 2 table this goes 3 times. 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4, next followed by 0. Again in 2 table, so 2 1s are 2, 1 is carried, so 12. So 6 times 12 followed by 0. Again in 2 table, so 2 8s are 16 followed by 0. Next again in 2 table, this goes 4 times, so 40. Again in 2 table, this goes 20 times. Again in 2 table, this goes 10 times. Next again in 2 table, this goes 5 times. So finally we got all prime numbers. Okay, now count these values. So whatever the things that we have, finally if you want to divide, so 5 table 1 time. Now count all these values and take it as product. Then this gives me my prime factorization. So how many 2's are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 7 into, so 7 2's and 1 5. So where that option is present, check it out. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 1 5. Okay, so from this option D is my answer. Okay, next moving on to the next question. In how many years does the sum of 1200 rupees become 1800 at the rate of simple interest of 5% per annum? Okay, so this is nothing but a problem related to simple interest. Now what are the things that are given? The sum of 1200. So sum of 1200 means it is nothing but my principal, the amount that I am keeping. So it becomes 1800. So it becomes 1800 means amount becomes 1800. Okay, next what he has given, at the rate of simple interest of 5% per annum. So rate of interest is given as 5% per annum. Now he is asking in how many years. So in how many years means he is asking about time. So T is asking you to find, right? Now what is amount? So first of all, what is amount? So amount is nothing but principal plus interest. Principal plus interest. Okay. Now from this I can find out interest. No. What is interest? So interest is equal to amount minus principal. What is amount here? Amount is 1800 minus principal is 1200. So 1800 minus 1200 is 600. So interest is 600. So this is my simple interest. And already I know the formula of interest. So I is equal to PTR by 100. Okay, I know this formula, right? So I am going to substitute the values now. What is the value of I? So I is equal to 600 is equal to, so if there is nothing in the denominator, 1 is present. What is principal? So principal is 1200 into what is the time period? That is the thing that we need to find it out, into what is rate of interest? Rate of interest is 5 divided by 100. Okay, so this 0 and 0, this 0 and 0 I can cancel it out. Now from this what I am going to have? So this is 600 is equal to 12 5s are. So 12 5s are 60. So this becomes 60 times of T. Now since I need a T value, I can write it as 600 by 60. So 600 by 60, it goes 10 times. Hence the time is 10 years. So after 10 years, this 1200 principal will become 1800. That means interest is 600. Okay. Next, moving on to the last question of this particular solid paper. Right. Now let us see how can I do this. 140.75 into 0.01. Now after the decimal point, how many decimal places are there? Since we are having 2 decimal places, I can write this value as 14075 divided by 1 followed by that many number of zeros. Since we are having 2 decimal places, so 1 followed by 2 zeros I can write it out, into again 0.01 I can write it as 1 by, since we are having 2 decimal places, I can write as 1 by 100. Now 14075 into 1, this gives me 14075 divided by 1 followed by, we have 4 zeros. Now whenever you are having 4 zeros, that means in the numerator, if you want to write this particular fraction as decimal, we can write it as, after the decimal place, how many zeros are there, that many place value should be. That means I can write as 1.4075, because here we are having 4 zeros. That means after decimal point I should have 4 decimal places. Since the numerator contains 5 numbers, I can directly take only 4 numbers as the decimal places. So answer is 1.4075. Okay, so likewise, so we are going to do, so I am going to give you the remaining solid papers of Navodaya, right? So stay connected with the channel so that you can learn so many things from these videos, right? So if you like the video, so please give a like button. Next, share with your friends so that they also get benefited from these videos, right? So thank you for watching the video.